Good day. My name is Craig Schwartz, and I work at Army Sustainment Command as the Army Food Analyst. Today I'm going to talk to you about the quality assurance and surveillance process. Army Sustainment Command has two types of contracts, a full food service contract and a DFA contract. Both of these contracts have the same PWS, and they have a PRS, which is a performance requirement statement. The full food service contract has 12 PRS items, while the DFA contracts have six PRS items. The first six, 1 through 6, are primarily for DFA, while 7 through 12 are for the administration, ration control, for cooking processes, and for field feeding. Both of these are broken into a standard process. So I'm going to talk about the full food service style. So we have 12 PRS items. The first 1 through 8 and 10 and 11 are random inspections. This means that at any given time when you walk into a dining facility, those functions are being performed. So you come in, you're going to inspect for a breakfast meal, and you have your inspection forms. 1 through 8 will always be done. So when you walk in, they are doing sanitation, they're cleaning tables, they're washing dishes, they're cooking, they're receiving, doing the serving line. So those are all random. They will be done at any time, and you can inspect those at any time. The other two, number 9 and number 12, are both planned inspections. That means you only can inspect them when they're being performed. So for rations are normally delivered on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're only delivered in the morning. So if you came to inspect the dinner meal or the lunch meal, you could not inspect it. You would have to plan on coming for the breakfast meal on that particular day. Same thing with field feeding. So when you go off and inspect all the PRS items, you're going to want to make sure that you inspect all of them at that same time. So if your COR gives you the sheets, you go off and you know you're doing 1 through 8, 10, and 11. The best practice is to see if you can include some of the planned inspections. So if you know you're going off to inspect DFAC number 1 and you're going to inspect the breakfast meal, you would want to see if you could also inspect the receiving of rations. And you would show up at 5 a.m. when the DFAC is just starting to open and the truck starts to roll in. You could start by inspecting the garbage cans, the exterior of the building, walk into the building, see if the truck's being properly unloaded, they're doing the temperatures, and you can go off and start to inspect other areas. The key is, it doesn't matter which inspectable items that you're going to do, but you must do them all, and you must do them completely. So a prime example would be you go off and you start to inspect rations, they're unloading the truck, but you can't finish all of it inside the ration room because there isn't room. You could start to move over and watch the cook start to cook the food, making sure that they're using ration cards, they're using the proper ingredients and the proper techniques. As time is available, you can move back over and inspect the ration room. It must be complete by the time you leave the DFAC. The final thing is we want to make sure that you have consistency when you're inspecting. The old saying, if you're a prior military, the old saying, if you walk by an error, you've set a new standard. That's exactly the same thing with doing inspections for quality assurance. You're going to make sure that you go off and inspect the same way each and every time, just like your counterpart in the same DFAC or in the same LRC, or an LRC that's across the country, so that the standards are all being used. QAs always have the connotation, quality assurance inspectors always have the connotation that this is a negative process. The quality assurance inspection is actually neither good nor bad. It is only documenting the contractor's performance. So if the contractor is doing exceptionally well, you can note that he has no defects for a week or a month, and the contracting officer can give him an exceptional or a satisfactory. Now, if the contractor is not doing well, we can also note that he is doing substandard work. The big thing is defects in themselves are not negative. We are expecting that in a normal DFAC, you are going to have mistakes. The contractor always hires new people. You have a rotation of personnel. Those new people do not know the process, they don't know the standard. And you're there to help their quality control program identify shortfalls so that they can go off and fix those shortfalls and become proficient. Now, that being said, excessive number of defects are not good. If a contractor is having defects in multiple areas on multiple occasions, we know that they have a serious shortfall, not in just one area, but in multiple areas, and that their leadership is not being able to identify this. This way, we can start to go back, if we see this, we can go back to the contractor and have him put more resources towards specific areas to become more proficient. In later videos, we'll start to talk about issues such as exceeding the accept or reject rate for the defect. So if a contractor exceeds this, we would issue non-compliance reports, NCRs. We might institute a automatic deduct, which would be taking funds away because he did not reach our quality level. This will be discussed later on, but just be aware that your documentation is what we will use to support those NCRs or those automatic deducts. So it is critical that not only do you document the issue, when, where it happens, but if it's a defect, you can take pictures so that we know whether this is a minor issue or a major issue, because it matters. Thank you very much. This was the quality assurance and surveillance process.